Well, the Canada Disability Benefit was enacted into legislation, but it does come with some clawbacks. Luckily, we have Nainesh Kotak from Kotak Law joining us with more on this to break this down, because you do like this Canadian Benefit Act.
Yes, the Canada
Disability Act.
Absolutely. This act was a long time coming. It actually received unanimous support in Parliament. And what it's designed to do is to provide a minimum benefit for disabled Canadians who are in poverty. And we know the stats show that about 23% of disabled people are in fact living in poverty. So this is to provide a minimum benefit. Now, we don't know how much that benefit will be. Rumor is it might be $2,200, but we're not sure. So absolutely, it's well-intentioned, this legislation, and I think it's going to serve a good purpose. However, there's some loopholes in the act that unfortunately were not addressed in Parliament, although they were in Senate. But the issue is it's become law. Regulations haven't been formed yet, so people won't start receiving benefits for certainly well over a year. So here's the loophole that many disability groups were concerned about and made submissions to the Senate. Section 9 of the legislation provides that there can be no deduction or clawback or offset for any other act of Parliament. So, for example, if you're getting CPP disability, you can still get this benefit. And in fact, the parliamentary debates and the talk all along was it should be a top-up over anything else. Okay. So at the Senate, the disability groups, the alarm bells started ringing. And they were saying, look, private insurers, and group insurers, private insurers, who pay out long-term disability benefits to people whose employers have paid the premiums or the individuals have paid the premiums, right now what they do is they deduct CPP disability benefits. So the fear is that they will also deduct the Canada Disability Benefit, that's not the intention of the Act, but without the condition in the Act to prevent that, this is in fact what could occur. Now, the Canadian Life and Health Insurers Association made submissions to the House of Commons and I think a letter to the Senate, and I think they've told other media outlets that, look, if the benefit is a social benefit, then its members, won't seek that offset. The problem with that argument is this, or that point is this. First of all, what they say is not binding on individual insurers. Secondly, most disability insurance contracts to date have a provision that says they can offset or deduct the CPP disability benefits or any other federal disability benefits. So, conceptually, even if it's determined to be a social benefit, a non-taxable social benefit, there still could be a deduction. Now, there was a reason why Parliament didn't accept. The Senate said, no, we need to make amendments for Section 9 so that insurers could not offset or deduct the benefit. And they sent it back to the Parliament with provisions that no deduction under private insurance or any trust instrument, that wording like that. Parliament felt that there's a constitutional issue, that they cannot legislate insurance companies. That's a provincial jurisdiction. Therefore, and the Senate looked at that and felt, yes, you could, because the federal government needs to determine how that money will be spent and if it's going to get deducted or not. Parliament didn't agree. They were worried about constitutional challenges, so they didn't accept that amendment. And the Act received royal assent.
It's easy to get in the weeds with this. There's a lot of information there, because
yes.
In place before was the CPP disability benefit.
Still there.
Still there.
Still there.
We'll stay there.
We'll stay there. Now, you see, the CPP disability benefit, it requires contribution. You have to have worked a certain time, contributed a certain amount of money in order to get it. And it's not retirement, it is actual disability. Yeah. So when that was enacted, what happened is disability insurers, they started amending their contracts to say, we get to deduct this. Despite the fact, let's say your employer pays a certain amount of premium to give you a benefit, say it's $2,500, $3,000 a month if you meet the definition of disability, they still get to deduct what you would be entitled to from CPP disability if you didn't apply, or what you get, despite the fact that premiums have been paid for a greater amount.
If you would qualify for CPP disability benefit, you would qualify for this new disability benefit, for the most case.
I would think so, unless you have other sources of income, that whether it be investment or something that actually is taking you above the poverty line, then you probably would not qualify.
So we're not there yet. How far are we away from this actually coming into law?
I would say we're probably about a year.
Okay, so we're still some time.
The Act is regulations have to be formed, and I think we're looking at about a year, and some negotiation with the provinces. The federal government's got to talk to the provinces about how do we deal with ODSP, how we deal with OW, how do they interact.
Well, thanks for taking us through it, because I know there's a lot of paperwork to work through.
It's confusing,
I know, but thanks for talking us through it. Nainesh Kotak and his monthly visit. We'll see you next month with another important topic.